Follow your bliss, and the universe will open doors for you where there were only walls. Most people completely misunderstand the concept of bliss. They mistake it for cheap pleasure, lazy comfort, or a life free of effort. But true bliss is not a state of idle relaxation. It is the sharp, demanding authority of your ultimate potential calling you forward. It is an internal radar, a deep spiritual resonance that tells you exactly who you are meant to be and what you are meant to construct on this earth. When you ignore that voice, you create a profound, agonizing friction within your own soul. You enter into a state of total discord, living a life that is entirely out of sync with your true architecture. Every single day you spend operating outside of your true purpose, you are actively erecting massive, impenetrable walls around your future. But the moment you make an absolute commitment to listen to that internal compass, the entire structural arrangement of your reality begins to shift. Obstacles that once looked permanent begin to dissolve, and pathways clear where there was previously nothing but stone. If that internal radar is screaming at you to change your physical condition, you must follow it without a single microsecond of hesitation. When your inner voice tells you to drop everything, pack your bag, and drag your body to the training floor, that is your bliss demanding compliance. It is calling you to reshape the biological vessel that carries your spirit. True confidence and mental clarity cannot exist in a soft, neglected body. When you force yourself through the grueling, exhausting mechanics of a brutal workout, you are not merely burning calories. You are establishing an internal harmony. You are aligning your physical flesh with the demanding expectations of your higher mind. You must fall in love with the hard labor, understanding that the sweat and the muscle strain are the exact physical payments required to unlock the next level of your human experience. Do not look at the weights as a chore. View them as the sacred tool for sculpting a mind that cannot be fractured by life's unexpected storms. The exact same internal command applies to your economic destiny. If your true calling is telling you to build an enterprise, to launch that specific venture, or to step out on your own, you must obey that signal. The vast majority of the population spends 40 years trading their vital life force for a steady paycheck, working inside systems designed by men who had the courage to build their own visions. They stay trapped in a dead-end job because they are terrified of the dark, terrified of risk, and addicted to the illusion of security. But a life built on a foundation of fear is a slow, agonizing compromise. If your current position is suffocating your creativity, dampening your fire, and forcing you to live a small, restricted life, you must have the audacity to plan your exit and execute it. You must take those extra hours in the evening, lock yourself in a room, and commit your attention entirely to constructing your own vehicle of freedom. You become what you think about all day long, and if your mind is consumed by a grand vision of independence, staying compliant to a corporate script is nothing short of self-sabotage. To live in absolute synchronization with your purpose, you must violently eliminate any habit that clouds your internal engine. If your bliss is telling you to quit the drugs, drop the alcohol, and purge the toxic distractions from your daily routine, you must give yourself your word and never look back. The modern landscape is engineered to keep you chemically numb, heavily distracted, and completely dependent on cheap, immediate gratification. Every time you pick up a drink or indulge in a vice to escape the pressure of your life, you are actively dulling your radar. You are turning down the volume of the very voice that is trying to guide you to your peak. A disciplined man treats his mind and body as a high-performance machine that requires completely clean fuel. When you step away from the collective herd and refuse to participate, in their shallow weekend escapes, your perception sharpens. You begin to see the world with a crystalline, unshakable clarity. Your energy changes, your posture shifts, and you start moving through reality with the heavy, quiet presence of someone who answers to a higher law. True transformation requires you to recognize that your thoughts are the literal blueprints of your physical environment. You cannot build a magnificent, prosperous life if your mind is constantly dwelling on lack, limitation, and past resentments. You must consciously train your internal dialogue to match the exact scale of the empire you want to manifest. You have to change your working vocabulary from the language of a hopeful wisher to the absolute decree of an owner. Stop looking at your goals as distant, hypothetical mountains that you might climb one day. Look at them as historical facts that are already woven into the timeline of your existence. When you cultivate a deep, quiet expectation of success, your daily behavior automatically calibrates to that standard. You stop moving with hesitation, you stop seeking cheap external validation, and you stop letting minor setbacks dictate your emotional state. You become completely inner-directed, relying on a reservoir of self-worth that was built through invisible hours of raw execution when nobody was watching. This path of total alignment is inherently beautifully lonely, and you must learn to take an immense pride in that complete separation. The masses are fundamentally terrified of anyone who possesses a singular, unyielding obsession. Your unwavering focus acts as a painful, blinding spotlight on their own deep-seated laziness, and their natural instinct will be to drag you back down into the comfortable mud of conformity. They will offer you the distractions, invite you to the parties, and tell you that you are taking things too seriously. You must cut those anchors away without a single second of guilt or internal debate. Let the crowd waste their youth and dull their minds in transient amusements that leave them empty by Monday morning. While they are celebrating nothing, you are constructing everything. Let your absence be felt. Let your silence speak volumes. Your isolation from society is not a tragedy. It is the ultimate indicator that you have finally chosen the path of true mastery. Every single morning you open your eyes, you are presented with a completely clean slate to prove your loyalty to your vision. The world does not care about what you achieved yesterday, and is entirely indifferent to the promises you made for tomorrow. The only metric that carries any weight is your current execution in this present moment. The second your feet hit the floor, the internal battle begins all over again. There can be no negotiation with the blankets, no lingering in comfort, and no hesitation. You must move with an automatic, robotic precision, tackling the heaviest tasks of the day with an aggressive, immediate intensity. When you build a track record of winning the morning, you create a momentum that carries you through the most difficult challenges with absolute ease. You establish a standard of excellence that becomes completely permanent, dictating every interaction, every decision, and every single block of your time. Look brutally at your current daily habits right now. Identify every single area where you are still compromising, where you are still allowing loose behaviors to fracture your focus because you are tired or stressed. Look at the excuses you tell yourself to justify your lack of progress and burn them all to the ground today. There is no middle ground on the road to self-conquest. You are either sailing out into the deep water toward your ultimate peak, or you are actively rotting away in the shallow safety of the harbor. Raise your baseline standards immediately. Demand more from your mind, your body, and your routines than anyone else could ever dare to expect from you. You are the sole architect of your destiny, the absolute commander of your own fate. Lock in your attention. Silence the noise of the collective crowd. Train your mind to be completely absolute. Forge your physical form into steel and keep your soul in perfect harmony with your highest purpose. Follow that internal compass through the darkest storms. Execute your directives with unyielding precision and allow the universe to clear the path for your ultimate ascension.